How do you do? Hope you all are well at your home. Today we are going to start a new chapter for class 9 in social science, and we are going to discuss the chapter number 1 in history named the French Revolution. Students, first of all we have to remember, we have to prepare a line of study what we are going to discuss in this particular chapter, and then after we will discuss one by one all those topics. So I have written some points related to the topics that we are going to cover in this particular chapter. The first topic is the introduction. Second one is the meaning of revolution. Over here, introduction, we will see why this particular chapter has been introduced as a part of the syllabus. Then we will see the meaning of revolution. And then after, very much important, the causes of revolution. The causes of revolution, in that we will going to discuss what were the causes behind the revolution. While discussing about the causes, we will go through the political cause. We will also discuss the society during the revolution, because that plays a very important role in the revolution. Next, the economic condition. In the name of subsistence crisis, we will discuss how the sufferings of common people of France just take them to the path of the revolution. Next one, we will discuss about the emergence of middle class. Middle class is going to become the just leading the movement. That is the real importance of the middle class. Role of thinkers and philosophers. They are the real people, those who are just giving the new ideas. They are the part of the middle class. Then after, the fall of Bastille. This will be the immediate cause of the revolution. Immediate means with that outbreak of the incident, means with the fall of Bastille. Bastille was a name of a fort. So with the fall of that Bastille, once the Bastille was occupied by the revolutionaries, the revolution had started. Then we will see after the revolution what had happened. France became the constitutional monarchy. We will discuss the meaning of constitutional monarchy and what were the changes brought by this revolution in France. Then we will discuss about the reign of terror after the Carnage and Robespierre. Then after, the directory rule in France. How a new kind of government came in power after the fall of Jacobin government or after the fall of Robespierre. Then we will see how revolution affect the different section of society. In that we will discuss how revolution affect women and how revolution played an important role in abolishing the slavery. Slavery, you are knowing the meaning of slavery is Das Pratha. And then after, how revolution affect the everyday life of the people. रेवोल्यूशन कैसे व्यक्ति के प्रतिदिन के जीवन में एक परिवर्तन लाने की एक वजह बनती है, वो हम डिस्कस करेंगे। और लास्ट में हम पढ़ेंगे लेगेसी। लेगेसी का मतलब होता है कंट्रीब्यूशन, योगदान। ये लेगेसी है जिसके कारण फ्रेंच रेवोल्यूशन को इतने सालों के बाद भी, मोर देन 200 इयर्स के बाद भी हमें पढ़ना पड़ता है। तो बच्चों, अब हम लोग पढ़ना शुरू करेंगे इसके इन सारे टॉपिक्स के ऊपर कि कैसे हम क्या क्या करें। तो सबसे पहले हम बात करते हैं इंट्रोडक्शन। ये इंट्रोडक्शन क्या मतलब इंट्रोडक्शन? द पर्पस बिहाइंड जस्ट डिस्कसिंग दिस टॉपिक इज द रियल मीनिंग ऑफ इंट्रोडक्शन। In the French Revolution, we are going to see its importance. Why French Revolution is become so important that even after more than 200 years, we are going to discuss this chapter, and that is become a part of the syllabus. What will happen if you don't understand or don't read this particular chapter? Is there any harm? Yes. There is some sort of knowledge that we are going to missing. So first of all, try to understand why we should learn about this. Actually, the French Revolution gave the birth of the modern democratic system. Actually, the principles of democracy evolved through the French Revolution. If you want to understand the modern society, modern governments, their functioning, their behavior, the relation between the government and the people, for that we have to just try to find out what had happened during this period of time in France. Because from there, the tree of modern democracy grows. So this is one of the important things that we are going to discuss, and this is the thing why we have been given this particular task to understand about the French Revolution. The French Revolution is directly connected with the roots of modern democracy and democratic principles, namely equality, liberty and fraternity. तो बच्चों, नेक्स्ट हम लोग पढ़ेंगे मीनिंग ऑफ रेवोल्यूशन. Students, now the second topic that we have to discuss is meaning of revolution. In our everyday life, we all are very much familiar with the word revolution. What does it mean? It is the key to understand history. Normally, it is believed that revolution is associated with bloodshed. Means, where there is a revolution, there must be some bloodshed. Means, विद्रोह हुए होंगे, हथियार आए होंगे, गोलियां चली होंगी, तलवारें चली होंगी, बड़ी संख्या में लोग मारे गए होंगे, और तब परिवर्तन आया होगा. इतना तो निश्चित है कि you believe that revolution brings change. But what kind of change? What will be the nature of such kind of change that brought after the revolution? Actually, the changes that brought after the revolution is associated with complete change. Complete means whatever system, whatever practices people were following before the revolution has been changed. So you get this meaning that revolution always do not associated with bloodshed. जरूरी नहीं है कि परिवर्तन या क्रांति रक्त के साथ ही हो. हाँ, कई क्रांतियां, और आप ये कह सकते हैं कि अधिकांश क्रांतियों में रक्तपात है, यानी वहां पे हिंसा है. परंतु in history there are number of examples that refers a revolution that are not associated with any kind of bloodshed. परिवर्तन बिना हथियारों के भी हो सकती है. तो इस रेवोल्यूशन के मतलब को आप बिल्कुल समझिए कि रेवोल्यूशन को हम कैसे समझ सकते हैं. क्या केवल क्रांति खून से ही संभव है, परिवर्तन खून से ही संभव है? नहीं, उसके अलावा भी परिवर्तन लाई जाती है जो शांतिपूर्ण क्रांति होती है. उसके एग्जाम्पल्स देखिए. I have written peaceful revolution, some important, the glorious revolution of England that had happened in 1688 in England. After this particular revolution, the political system, the religious practices, the society was changed. There was a complete change in England. But you know, not a single drop of blood has been wasted. रक्त की एक बूंद नहीं बही और यहाँ पे वो परिवर्तन आ गए। इसे कहते हैं रक्तहीन क्रांति। इस ग्लोरियस रेवोल्यूशन को रक्तहीन क्रांति भी कहते हैं और गौरवपूर्ण क्रांति भी कहते हैं। मॉडर्न डेमोक्रेसीज के रूट्स को एस्टैब्लिश करने में इस ग्लोरियस रेवोल्यूशन की एक बहुत बड़ी भूमिका है। इस ग्लोरियस रेवोल्यूशन में जनता की ताकत को, जनता की इच्छा को सर्वोपरि साबित करने की जो एक जद्दोजहद थी, उसे इसने तार्किकता प्रदान की। अंडर द प्रेशर ऑफ द पीपल ऑफ इंग्लैंड, द किंग ऑफ इंग्लैंड हैड टू जस्ट लीव इंग्लैंड। A new regime has come, a new kingship has come, and that king was indirectly chosen by the people of India. That is the key. So this is the part of that bloodless revolution. Means बिना रक्त की बूंद बहे क्रांति हुई। Second, the industrial revolution. I have written a period also 1750s. I am not giving you a specific year because this was a revolution that was comprising a number of discoveries, number of inventions associated together, and that had happened in different parts of the world simultaneously. How industrial revolution is also brought the change. Industrial revolution, as the word suggests, it is related to the changes that comes in the field of industry. Means how the means of production had been transformed. Industrial revolution, in simple word, associated with using big machines, newer technologies, and power-driven machines in the means of production. And after that, what had happened? The scale of production has many times increased. Means the production was increased so many times. It was called the mass production. This industrial revolution brought a number of changes. It changed the society. It changed the social order. It changed the economic system. It changed the political system. Have you heard about colonialism? India was a colony of England. In simple words, हम ये कहते हैं कि भारत अंग्रेजों का गुलाम हो गया। आपने कभी तलाश की कारणों की? अगर हम इसके मूल कारण की तलाश करें, कई कारण दिए जाते हैं जिसमें कहा जाता है भारत का छोटे छोटे राज्यों में टूटना, भारत में एकता का भाव होना, भारतीयों की सोच का पिछड़ापन होना, बहुत सारे कारण हैं। सारे कारण सही हैं, लेकिन अगर उसकी जड़ की तलाश करें, वो कारण जिसने इंग्लैंड को इस अवस्था में पहुंचाया कि वो अपनी सीमाओं से बाहर आकर के दूसरे देश की सीमाओं में घुस करके उस पर कब्जा करे, तो उसकी जड़ यहाँ इंडस्ट्रियल रेवोल्यूशन। Industrial revolution had first started in England. Due to the industrial revolution, there was huge production in England. A number of factories were established day by day. So now there was a compulsion for England to find out the market to sell out the goods that were produced in their factories, and they also required raw materials to run their factories. England is a small island, and it was a period when a number of European countries, almost all European countries, were also joined the race of industrial revolution. So all they becoming industrialist nations. So there was less scope in Europe to have such kind of trade and get those raw materials. In those circumstances, there was a need of England to just come out from Europe and see the new area where England could get the regular supply of raw materials, and also England would sell the goods produced in their industries. This is the reason why England became a colonial power. This was the industrial revolution. This industrial revolution also created new system, economic system. It is called capitalist economy. And it also divided the society into two parts, haves and have-nots. Haves means the industrialists, and have-nots means industrial workers, the sufferers. So new group of society has been emerged. New practices also introduced in society. Now, workers have been paid hourly, यानी घंटे के हिसाब से मजदूरों को परिश्रम मिलने लगा। ये सिस्टम नहीं थी, इसका असर खेल में था। जो क्रिकेट जो इंग्लैंड में इवॉल्व हुई थी, पहले क्रिकेट का कोई लिमिटेड डे नहीं होता था, कोई ओवर नहीं होते थे, जब तक मैच चलेगी 2 इनिंग खत्म होगी तब तक चलता रहेगा, उसकी बाउंड्री नहीं होती थी। लेकिन इंडस्ट्रियल रेवोल्यूशन ने अब लोगों को खेती करने के लिए प्रेरित किया, क्योंकि इंडस्ट्री इंडस्ट्री लग रही है तो खेतों की साइज अब बढ़ेगी। पहले अब खेतों की घेराबंदी होगी, पहले पूरी लैंड कॉमन लैंड होती थी, अब जमींदारों ने अपनी लैंड को घेरने लगे। जब घेराबंदी शुरू हुई तो परिणाम क्या हुआ? अब जो ओपन फील्ड थे जहां पे लोग खेलते थे उसकी सीमाएं अब लिमिट होने लगी, सीमित होने लगी। तो यहां से बाउंड्रीज का कॉन्सेप्ट है कि इतनी दूरी के बाद 4 रन मिलेंगे और इसके बाद 6 रन मिलेंगे। इसी प्रकार से जब लोगों को आवरली पेमेंट होने लगा तो people don't have that much of reason to spend their time for the cricket। तो अब वो समय बद तरीके से मैच होने लगे, डेज फिक्स होने लगे, और ये समय आज भी देख सकते हैं उस रूट को कि आज 2020 का मैच है। अब बात ये चल रही है कि 2020 के मैच को भी अब 10-10 ओवर का मैच कर देंगे। People don't have that much of time to spend for the game. They all are running to earn more and more, and people have been paid hourly according to their performance। तो देखिए, एक घटना हमारी पूरी जीवन रेखा को प्रभावित करती है, हमारे व्यवहार को, हमारे विचार को, हमारे शिष्टाचार को, हमारी परंपराओं को। तो ये घटनाएं अकेली नहीं होती है, इतिहास को समझने की यही अंतर्दृष्टि है। मैंने आपको पहले भी बताया था, इतिहास कुछ नहीं है, मानव के जो इन्वायरमेंट है उन दोनों के भी जो रिएक्शंस होते हैं और उसके बाद जो आउटकम निकलता है वही मानव का इतिहास निर्मित करता है। सो इंडस्ट्रियल रेवोल्यूशन इज आल्सो अ ब्लडलेस रेवोल्यूशन। देयर वाज नो ब्लूड, इट इज ऑल अबाउट द इंडस्ट्रीज। थर्ड वन, द political struggle of India is also very much associated with the non-violence। We know that the whole Gandhian movement is based on the principle of non-violence। हाँ, आप ये कह सकते हैं सर इसमें अंग्रेजों ने अत्याचार किए, क्रांतिकारी गतिविधियां भी हैं, गोलियां भी चली, लाठियां चली, yes, but more than much the freedom of India attained by the path of non-violence। So these are some examples how revolution could be done without any bloodshed। So I hope that you people will got the meaning of revolution। So in French Revolution, what we are going to discuss, how the system has been changed, the tradition has been changed in the field of political system, how revolution changed the political scenario, social order, economic system, and religious practices। So these 4 are the subdivisions of human life। So overall, this revolution changed the whole life, human life। So that is the meaning of revolution। So next we are going to start the causes of the revolution। So that is very, very important। So next, causes of the French Revolution। Students, now the very most important topic that we are going to start, it is causes of the revolution। क्रांति के कारण, why the French society revolted, why there was a revolution in France in 1789। While discussing about the causes, we will discuss the causes in 2 ways। The one is the traditional things that are contributed, that are prepared the ground for the revolution, and second one, that is immediate cause। Just we have seen a number of subcategories of the causes that we have to discuss, means political system, social order, economic system, religious practices, and the fall of Bastille। The fall of Bastille lies in the immediate cause। Before that, we have to see what were the circumstances that compelled the people of France to revolt. The first and foremost important, the cause of the revolt or cause of the revolution was the political system। This political system created an environment in which people works and that decide the mindset of the people. So first of all, we have to investigate what kind of political order was existing in France before the revolution, and our answer is, before the revolution there was absolutist monarchy. What is the meaning of absolute monarch or absolutist monarchy? What does it mean? As you know that monarch means Raja. Or when we are talking about monarchy, we are talking about Rajtantra. A system of government in which one person is having the supreme power and the person is the center of power. And in absolutist monarchy, king will be supreme and absolute in terms of his or her power. The king will be unquestioned. No one could raise any finger on the decision of the king. King shall not be criticized. Criticism of king will be seen as a sedition. Means राजद्रोह माना जाएगा. राजा के खिलाफ, राजा की व्यवस्था के खिलाफ आवाज उठाना प्रतिबंधित है. That is called absolutist monarchy. और एक मजेदार बात देखिए, इस absolutist monarchy की पावर कहां से आ रही है, ऊर्जा कहां से आ रही है? वो थ्योरी है divine rights of kingship. What it means divine rights of kingship? In Hindi it is called राजत्व का दैवीय सिद्धांत. मैं हिंदी से लिख रहा हूं, थोड़ी सी समझदारी आपकी बेहतर हो सके. What it means divine right of kingship? It means कि king always claim that कि I am the representative of God on the earth. Means I have been chosen by God to rule over this territory. My kingship has been granted and blessed by God. I have not been chosen, I have not been appointed by the people. Means king claiming that he is the representative of God on the earth. So, since the king had been made by the God, the king is responsible in front of the God, not in front of the people. बड़ी खतरनाक विचार था. राजा मुझे ईश्वर ने बनाया है, जनता ने नहीं. तो जनता क्या है? जनता फिर ईश्वर के प्रतिनिधि को मानने के लिए बाध्य होगी. ये वो सोसाइटी है जो धर्म के आधार पर बिल्कुल कठोरता से धर्म का पालन करती है, परंपराओं का पालन करती है. तो राजा चूंकि ईश्वर का प्रतिनिधि है, तो राजा का विरोध अर्थात ईश्वर का विरोध होगा. बहुत गंभीर और खतरनाक विचार था, लेकिन वो समय की परंपरा थी. तो कल्पना कर सकते हैं, जब राजा ईश्वर तुल्य माना जाता था, तो राजा के खिलाफ सर उठाने की बात सोचना अर्थात ईश्वर के खिलाफ सर उठाने की बात होती थी. तो ऐसे लोगों के लिए क्या सजा हो सकती थी? सीधा टिकट थमा देना है, सीधा ट्रेन पे. वो ट्रेन की टिकट वगैरह टाइमिंग वगैरह सब राजा तय कर देते थे, बिना किसी प्रकार के विलंब के. You can just imagine what kind of society that was. But one more thing that I would like to add over here, try to examine the condition of France in 1789 while putting yourself in that time period. Don't try to investigate, don't try to see the conditions through the eyes of modern days. आज के चश्मे से उस समय की घटनाओं को देखेंगे तो आप चीजों में उलझ जाएंगे. इतिहास की सरलता तभी संभव है जब आप घटनाओं के क्रम को समझने के लिए खुद को उस घटनाओं में डालने की कोशिश करें, उस कालखंड में ले जाने की कोशिश करें. तो वहां पे ये सिचुएशन थी डिवाइन राइट ऑफ किंगशिप. अब देखते हैं तो इस एब्सोल्यूटिस्ट मोनार्की में क्या हुआ कि वो सेंटर ऑफ पावर, सुप्रीम, undoubtedly, unquestioned, no separation of power. Do you know what is the meaning of separation of power? Separation of power means legislative powers, executive powers, and judicial power of the government. Actually, king himself act as a supreme legislature, supreme executive and supreme judge. Means राजा ही क्या थी? तो कानून बनाने की संस्था सुप्रीम। राजा ने जो इच्छा करती, राजा के जो आदेश थे वही कानून होते थे। दूसरी बात, राजा ही एग्जीक्यूटिव थी, मतलब राजा ही अपनी सत्ता को चलाने के लिए नियमों को बनाता था और इम्प्लीमेंट कराता था। और तीसरी बात, जुडिशियरी यानी सुप्रीम जज भी वो खुद था। आप कल्पना कीजिए यदि आपकी शिकायत खुद अपने राजा से हो, will you imagine that you will get the justice? No. Modern democracies always divide the powers. There is a legislature, there is a executive, there is a judiciary. In class 8 you people have read about things. लेकिन वहां पे ऐसी बात नहीं थी। राजा ही सेंटर ऑफ पावर था, राजा ही सारी अधिकारों को उपभोग करने वाला और उसका उपयोग करने वाला था। अर्थात वहां पे वर्तमान की जो आधार विचारधारा है प्रजातंत्र की, उसका घोर अभाव, नितांत अभाव, किसी प्रकार की कोई राइट्स नहीं। तो इसे ये भी समझ सकते हैं कि पीपल डोंट हैव एनी काइंड ऑफ राइट्स, मींस देयर वाज नो कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ सिटीजनशिप, यानी नागरिक और नागरिक अधिकार बिल्कुल शून्य थे। तो ये समाज था, उस समय की पॉलिटिकल सिस्टम ये थी। आप कल्पना कीजिए इस प्रकार के सिस्टम में समय के साथ परिवर्तन अनिवार्य था। रेवोल्यूशन परिवर्तन की ही बात है, लेकिन कैसा परिवर्तन? आमूलचूल परिवर्तन, अ कंप्लीट चेंज। तो यहां के सिस्टम में परिवर्तन आएगी। तो ये आप पॉलिटिकल कंडीशंस को याद रखें। अब इस कंडीशन में खुद अपने आप को डाल के देखें, यू विल रियलाइज कि कैसी दमघोटू संस्थाएं उस समय काम कर रही थी। और समाज लगातार गतिशील होता है, ऑलवेज मूव अहेड, एंड विद the time passes, new ideas, new thoughts, new practices get its roots. And if any system do not change accordingly, what will happen? There will be a clash. And the same thing had happened in the case of French Revolution. The society was just going to be changed. People would have started thinking differently. They were having new ideas, new concept of government. Now they were running for their rights. But the system, the political system, was very much stagnant because the system was believed in the principle of divine right of kingship. So Raja must not be questioned. यहाँ मूल संस्थाएं तो होंगी, जनता की आकांक्षाएं और राजा के अधिकार, इन दोनों के बीच टकराव होगी। इन टकराव में बदलेगा समाज। ये टकराव ही समाज को बदलने की एक बहुत बड़ी वजह बनेगी और यही रेवोल्यूशन कहलाएगा। यही चीज समझना है, कुछ भी इसमें कठिन नहीं। तो चलते हैं, थोड़ी सी बात कर लेते हैं कि वो मुन्नार कौन था। ड्यूरिंग द रेवोल्यूशन देयर वाज लुई 16 वाज द किंग एंड ही बिलोंग्स टू बुर्बोन डायनेस्टी। ये याद रखिएगा, ऑब्जेक्टिव क्वेश्चंस भी पूछे जाते हैं कि व्हिच डायनेस्टी रूल्ड फ्रांस ड्यूरिंग द फ्रेंच रेवोल्यूशन। It was the Bourbon dynasty. And who was the king of France during the French Revolution? It was again Louis XVI. Let's see. The Bourbon dynasty was ruling over France nearly more than 200 years. Actually, the Bourbon dynasty was having great respect among the people of France. People were respecting kings as a representative of God. But as I have said, as time passes, new thoughts, new ideas, new practices, new beliefs become a part of the life. That is the meaning of development. And history is all about the development, study of human development. So once the thoughts have been changed or developed, accordingly systems have been changed. So till the kings were accepting those changes, the things were okay. But once the king has resisted and neglected to accept those demands, those changes, then people raised their hands. They united themselves to change such kind of system. And that brought the revolution in the France. So over there, Louis XVI was there, ruling over France with such kind of powers. No unquestioned. There was no any kind of resistance while administrating the government. And he was along with his wife Mary Antoinette. She also a very effective lady and having great influence in the administration. So I hope that you may understand the political cause of the revolution. So next we will see about the social order of the French society or the social causes, how society react and accepted such changes and what were the demand of the people of France.